Okay, picture this. The sheer explosive power of a fast bowler charging in, the roar, the ball thundering down. It's just peak athletic intensity, isn't it?
It really is pure power and pressure. But, even the most powerful engines, the most finely tuned athletes, they eventually need that pit stop.
Exactly. There's always a hidden toll, isn't there? Beneath all the spectacle, the body is being pushed right to its absolute limit.
Relentlessly.
And that brings us right to our focus today. We've been digging into the story around Australian cricket captain Pat Cummins. He recently revealed a pretty significant injury.
And not just the injury, but this audacious plan he has. Incredibly calculated, really, to get back in time for cricket's biggest, fiercest rivalry, the Ashes.
Yeah, so our mission today is to really unpack that, not just what happened, but why it's such a high-stakes gamble for him and the team.
Right. We want to look at the science behind his recovery plan, what it actually involves, and what it all means for the Ashes. One of the biggest events on the sporting calendar. It's a fascinating story.
It really is. Resilience, strategy, the human body pushed to its limits. It's all in there.
Absolutely.
And for you listening, this isn't just about cricket, is it? It touches on making those big strategic decisions under pressure.
Yeah.
Listening to what our bodies are telling us.
And sometimes having the courage to actually step back, take that pause so you can come back stronger, that leap forward idea.
Precisely. So let's start with the man himself, Pat Cummins. 32 years old, pace bowler from New South Wales. He's often called the freight train, the image of him charging in.
The quarterback of the bowling
Yeah.
attack, yeah. He really orchestrates things out there. And his career, it already feels pretty legendary.
Doesn't it? He burst onto the scene so young back in 2011.
Yeah, teenage prodigy stuff. And now, over 250 test wickets. And just think about 2023 alone. He captained Australia to the World Test Championship and the ODI World Cup.
Incredible year.
Unbelievable. And his bowling is not just fast, is it? It's smart. He gets that seam movement, makes the ball just dance off the pitch sometimes, deceptive.
But that kind of performance, that action, over and over, it takes a toll. Fast bowling, someone described it as like repeatedly slamming a heavy door thousands of times.
That's a good analogy. Eventually, yeah, something's likely to give. And for Cummins, it sounds like this soreness started creeping in during the West Indies series earlier this year.
He pushed through it, which, top athletes often do.
Right.
But the body sends signals.
And thankfully, he listened. The scans eventually showed a lumbar bone stress injury. Now, for most people, hearing stress injury might not sound as bad as a full break, but it's serious.
Right. It's like tiny microscopic cracks in the bone from overuse, a real warning sign.
Exactly. The body's saying, okay, ease up here, especially when you think about the forces involved.
Yeah, I read it's up to 8 times their body weight slamming through the front foot on landing.
8 times. That shockwave goes right up the spine. It's actually amazing he's been so durable for so long. Over 1,000 overs in Test cricket alone. That's, 6,000 deliveries?
Huge workload. Yeah. It really speaks to his conditioning that this is only becoming a major issue now.
And it's not uncommon, is it? If you look back, England's James Anderson had similar back issues around this age.
Oh, that's right.
And even Australia's own Glenn McGrath, he was a master at managing his body to keep going. It shows how serious these things are and why patience and recovery is just so crucial. You rush back.
And you risk making it chronic, shortening a career.
Precisely.
So diagnosis confirmed. How does a captain like Cummins, known for just going hard, handle this?
Yeah.
Well, strategically, it seems.
Very strategically. That announcement on September 10th, 2025, stepping back for 4 to 6 weeks. That wasn't just, I need a bit of rest. It was a calculated move.
A disciplined decision, aimed squarely at being firing on all cylinders for the Ashes, nothing less.
Yeah, and the immediate impact was pulling out of those upcoming white ball series against New Zealand and India. Shorter formats, faster pace, not what his back needed.
Shows where the priority lies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Long-term health and the Ashes.
Absolutely. And the recovery plan itself sounds simple on paper, but for an athlete like him, it requires immense discipline.
Right. Low-key rehab, no bowling at all, minimal running, just focusing intensely on strengthening those core muscles.
He described it as being pretty light at the moment. It's all about that gradual buildup, not jumping back into high-impact stuff too soon.
And the brilliance, maybe, is embracing that idea of doing less. For someone driven like him, doing nothing or very little, that's probably the hardest kind of training.
It really is. Delayed gratification for that peak performance later on. And the science behind it is fascinating. bone remodeling.
Explain that a bit.
So basically, the body has this amazing ability to absorb the damaged, stressed bone tissue and then lay down new, stronger bone in its place. But it takes time.
How much time are we talking usually?
Well, typically 4 to 8 weeks for this kind of healing process in athletes. So Cummins' 4 to 6 week window before he even resumes bowling. It's optimistic, but it's medically sound. It fits within that time frame.
And they'll be using all the tech, presumably.
Oh, for sure. Physiotherapists will likely have him on things like anti-gravity treadmills, maybe pool sessions, ways to maintain fitness and build strength without putting that heavy load on his spine. Like walking on the moon, someone said, to get back to Earth form.
Sounds a bit sci-fi, right? But it makes sense, easing the burden.
Exactly. Plus, you've got Australia's whole sports science setup behind him, constant monitoring with MRI scans, specific nutrition plans, high calcium, vitamin D, anti-inflammatories. It's like, as you said, rebuilding a bridge. You need every component to be perfect and strong.
And it's not just the physical side, is it? His mindset must be key.
Hugely. We saw his calmness under pressure in that 2023 World Cup final. That same mental resilience, that cool head, is absolutely vital for sticking with a frustrating rehab process like this.
And the sacrifice, it's significant. Skipping white ball cricket is one thing, but potentially missing Sheffield Shields games too. That's the main red ball prep.
It shows the laser focus, doesn't it? Uninterrupted recovery for the 5-day tests. That's the goal. The Ashes loom that large.
So let's talk about the Ashes.
Yeah.
Why is it so critical? It's not just another series.
Oh, it's way more than that. For Australians, it's often seen as the absolute pinnacle. A national obsession is not an exaggeration. It's got that Super Bowl or World Cup kind of intensity and meaning.
And the history behind it is pretty wild, dating way back to 1882.
Yeah, that famous story. Australia stunned England on English soil, and a British newspaper printed that obituary for English cricket, saying the Ashes would be taken to Australia. And the rest, as they say, is history. The little urn became the symbol.
Amazing. So this time around, it kicks off in Perth, Optus Stadium, November 21st. And that Perth pitch.
Famous for its bounce, yeah. Traditionally favors the fast bowlers, which makes Cummins' presence or potential absence even more critical right from the start.
Absolutely vital. And the schedule after that is relentless.
It really is. Perth, then Brisbane, then the day-night test in Adelaide.
Pink ball under lights. Always tricky.
Always adds another dimension. Then the massive Boxing Day test in Melbourne, and finally Sydney in early January 2026. It's a real grind. Tests, endurance, depth, everything.
Which brings up that leadership question again. If Cummins isn't quite ready for Perth, who takes the reins?
That's the key question, isn't it? While the aim is definitely for him to lead, they do have a very capable plan B in Steve Smith, the vice captain.
Batting genius, and he's captain before.
Exactly. So there's experience there if needed. Adds another layer, but they'd obviously prefer Cummins leading from the front if possible.
Now, what about the backup bowlers? Cummins himself sounded pretty confident about Australia's depth, said they planned for these things like a year out.
Yeah, and when you look at who's potentially waiting, it's impressive. You've got guys like Jhye Richardson. He's apparently itching for a comeback after his own injuries and hitting good speeds.
Over 140 kph, I saw.
Right. Then there's Michael Neeser, always reliable, Brendan Doggett, raw pace, Sean Abbott, versatile, and of course, Scott Boland.
Boland. You just have to mention that Ashes debut in 2021, don't you? 6 for 7.
Unbelievable stuff. Just shows they have genuine match winners ready to step in. It's not just filling a spot.
And that really speaks to the strength of their domestic system, the Sheffield Shield. It's like a conveyor belt of talent.
It really is. It's a system designed to produce test-ready cricketers. This depth isn't an accident.
And thinking bigger picture, this situation comes at an interesting time for Australian cricket, doesn't it? Kind of a transition phase.
You could say that. They're moving on from, well, what many called a golden era. You still have veterans like Mitchell Starc.
Great left armor, but he's had his share of niggles too.
Exactly. And Josh Hazlewood, whose height and action naturally put strain on the body. They're still world-class, but, not getting any younger.
So this tests the squad's resilience, but it's also a massive opportunity for the next generation to step up and make their mark.
Definitely opens the door. And you can bet England will be watching all this very closely.
Oh yeah, with their aggressive Bazball approach under Stokes and McCullum, they'll smell opportunity, as they say.
Absolutely. Their whole philosophy is about attacking, putting pressure on, trying to disrupt the opposition's plans. They won't die wondering.
And potential threats from them. If Jofra Archer gets fit, his pace could be a real factor.
Huge factor if he's genuinely fit and firing. And Joe Root's batting form is just consistently world-class. He's always a major hurdle.
The buzz online is pretty intense too, right? On the X-sphere, formerly Twitter.
Yeah, you see it all. Fans highlighting Cummins' determination, debating the backup options, sharing old clips, just building that hype for his return. It's a mix of hope and maybe a little bit of anxiety.
Understandable.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wrap this up, Pat Cummins' story right now. It's such a compelling mix, isn't it? Personal drive, cutting-edge sports science, and just that immense weight of national expectation.
It really is. And it's a powerful reminder, too, that even these incredible athletes who seem almost superhuman sometimes are still human. They need breaks, they need to heal, they need to recharge to come back stronger.
That 4 to 6 week clock is definitely ticking. The whole cricket world is watching. But beyond the sport, what does this decision tell us about leadership under pressure?
Well, maybe that the smartest move, the boldest move sometimes, isn't just pushing through the pain, is it? It's having the foresight and the discipline to strategically step back, to pause for that longer-term win.
That really resonates, I think. How often do we, in our own jobs or lives, just keep pushing through that persistent soreness? Maybe it's burnout, maybe it's stress, instead of making that calculated decision to rest and recover properly for our own long-term health and performance.
It's a great question to reflect on. A powerful lesson from the top level of sport, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, we hope this deep dive has given you not just the details on the Cummins situation, but maybe some fresh perspective on resilience, strategy, and just the amazing capabilities and limits of the human body.